broadcasting, and very soon the channel will be live, which is what I always say because that's when it is live, and then I say, hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Andy.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Jenny Meltzer as Zaylene,
Hey,
Starla Hutchton as Carolina Swift,
Hello, friends.
Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry Shiny Rock,
I have so many questions, but it's hard to think with this thing in my brain, body, soul,
one of those.
spirit.
And last but not least, Chooch Schubert as Sequential.
Hello, hello.
Alas, we are not joined this week by Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn, but he will return presumably next week. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about what happened last week. When we last left our heroes, you had Zinhorn had finally managed to attune to this magical pipe that you had all found within this magical auction house within this magical tower. And it apparently grants the ability to separate a nightmare which can be affecting a creature, at which point you have to fight it. And then you did that twice. You extracted the nightmare that was already weakened from Zinhorn, and then from Sequential, and then last, at least in last session, from Evan, this young man who has been accompanying you on your adventures of late. And you discovered that this pipe not only extracts the nightmare, but then when it is defeated, it seems to convert it into a strange glowing marble of energy, which you have theorized could be used as a power source for some of these strange Dinutherian artifacts that you have encountered. But you were also last week missing your favorite Dark Elf Warlock, who disappeared into her own shadow construct the previous night. And so that's where we are going to pick up with. So, Zaylene, you had found yourself entering your trance state there within this shadow construct you made to keep everybody protected, and you were meditating. Well, tell me what you were meditating on.
I was meditating on the strange things that we learned, um, and the people who are following us. And I was basically sending my energy to the Mistress of the Dark, asking her for guidance and protection and to look out for everybody.
So, during your trance, you had been experiencing your trance as per usual, but then you felt a dread creeping up onto you, and you recognized this feeling from the nightmares that you had, and you found them starting to overtake you. But then everything went dark, but not in a frightening way, far from it. Rather, you felt suddenly enfolded within the hands of your mistress, and the dread drained away, and you found yourself, after some period of time, impossible to say how long, you found yourself in her presence. And none of this is experienced visually, but you nonetheless have a sense of being there with the vast and infinite yet tangible and present experience of the Mistress of the Dark. And you feel a little bit of a strange mental tug as you watch just a thin strand of energy being drawn out of your head and then just burning away before your very eyes. And as it leaves you, you feel relieved of this nightmare dread that you had been experiencing. You're still tired, but you feel unburdened in that regard. And I think there's a part of you that is just now feeling this quiet, this darkness, this love of this presence, and realizing that if this were just it, if this was just the end and it was just like this forever, that would be okay. But you do then hear a voice. And the voice says, "Zaylene, my servant, as you have come to understand, there was once a people beset by peril, and one of those people petitioned the spirits for help. She, at that time, was given a wonderful and terrible gift, that of power with deferred cost. Her people made clever use of this power, but when the time came to pay the price, they faltered, allowing the cosmic debt to taint their very essence. There were some that resisted this path. They would not join their people in this corruption, but neither could they bear to let the price be extracted from the innocents in the lands beyond. So, at great personal sacrifice, they sealed away their brothers and sisters behind a bulwark of magic, hoping that this price could serve in place of the other. It was a ward held in place by the struggle between total chaos and pure order, forces that they thought to be permanent and unchangeable. But sealing evil away is not the same as laying it to rest. The price has not been paid. It is the difference between eternal peace and being buried alive, denied the respite granted by death. There are beings within who seek to emerge once more. There are beings without who seek to follow the same dark path. To stand between will be difficult and dangerous, but that is what I ask of you. Follow this course, and you will be rewarded."
Yes, mistress. I will do as you ask.
Is there anything you would ask of me?
As I follow this path, will I find out more about who I am?
It is your destiny to do so.
I trust you and I believe in you, and I will make it part of my journey to make sure others know that you are kind and benevolent.
This is a lesson that many resist. To spread the word is enough. You need not convince. All come to that understanding in time. As for you, know now that you are what I have made of you, and that I have made you for a purpose.
Thank you.
And you feel yourself then sort of moving in this endless blackness. And gradually, you are aware of what feels like grass beneath your hands and air moving around you. And then you hear sounds, and it's your friends, and they're asking about you in concern. And then at last, you open your eyes and you find yourself beside a road with your friends looking down at you. And for the rest of you, you had been just about to go back into the tower. You had just, in fact, been discussing the process of returning Buster to a more convenient size as he rolls in the mud when you heard a strange breeze, a strange wind, and a chill draft passed over all of you. And as you instinctively turned to look, you saw Zaleen there on the ground.
I will run over to her and give her a great big hug and
Oh,
promptly pass her back her bag. Scary things in here. I don't want it. But I'm so glad you're back.
I was gone. I just went to sleep.
I don't think so. You were gone.
Yeah, we're quite a bit further down the road now.
Oh, all I remember is going to meditate, and I had a really wonderful dream.
Well, your dreams apparently move you through time and space.
Hmm.
We had a lot of speculation as to what actually happened to you, but at least it looks like you're not harmed. You're not harmed, are you?
No, I actually feel
You feel
unburdened.
fully rested and restored.
Well, that makes one of us.
Does that mean my exhaustion's gone?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I feel unburdened. No longer cursed by the nightmare.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
That means there's at least two ways to do it.
Well, I mean, you could ask her. Maybe she would help you.
I'm not sure about the cost. um, Besides, we have another way. And actually,
And Nedry will look around the ground around Zaleen, looking for a small pearl.
Mm-hmm. You don't find one.
huh, well, our way might lead some nice side effects.
Oh, okay.
So feel free, all of you, to we can imagine that you maybe go back into the tower, and you can all have your conversations about your respective experiences. We don't need to necessarily recap
Mhm.
everything, but
Yeah.
Well, I was planning to like get back on the road.
right,
Like,
yeah,
the plan was that I, ride the horse and
mm-hmm.
they can all chat inside.
Sure.
Is it
Sure.
is it daytime? Like, is it morning or
Yeah,
afternoon?
it is. It is probably mid morning right now because you had slept the night in order to be rested and ready to take this challenge on, and then fought a couple of them and felt like maybe some more can wait, but certainly I think Nedry and Carolina, who still have these burdens, uh, might be feeling that a little bit.
Maybe someone else should ride if you're not feeling up to it.
No,
Lynn?
I'm good. I'm fine. I can go.
Evan says to you, is like, yeah, I volunteered too. She seems to really want to do it. Oh, by the way, like I helped fight some of the nightmares, so like I guess I guess that's what we're doing, is we're saving the world by fighting nightmares. So you weren't here, but I'm on board.
Well, that is kind of what we're doing, yeah.
Wait, is that not what we're doing?
Well, that's part of it.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not it. There's a lot more.
All right.
I mean, the true quest is knowledge.
Well, that's Nedry's true quest, really. But our true quest is restoring a balance that has been out of whack for a very long time.
That's a very nice side effect, too. Yep.
All right. Well, I feel like a lot of this is happening on a level that I'm not fully grasping, but I guess that's okay. Just let me know if there's more stuff you want me to hit with my sword.
Mhm. But did you do okay?
Well, I think so. I mean, like the one that came out of my head was really scary. Like the one that came out
He
of
was very brave, though. Very
Aw.
brave.
Aw, shucks.
I knew
did
he would
great.
be.
But yeah, I think I did okay. I've been practicing.
Yeah, been fighting a lot.
Well, I mean,
Like by yourself, like training.
yeah.
Awesome. I'll train with you if you want. Not right now. I mean, but you
Fine.
know, like in general.
Sure.
All right.
Um,
Are you
eh,
sure, Lynn?
I'm sure we should probably get going.
Okay.
Nervously looking at the sky.
sure. So I guess as you kind of all get underway back in this current configuration that you've been using for a little while, what are the rest of you kind of, what do you have in mind for spending the rest of this day?
Well, I want to hear about what they did and
Sure.
um, the process of it. Whether, they definitely it's gone from them and that, when he sleeps, it doesn't just come back.
Well, I mean, they haven't tried sleeping again since,
But
but
Zinhorn did, right?
well, yes and no. Like he had the reduced strength nightmare after having extracted it and fought it the first time. But
Right.
when he hadn't been fully attuned to the pipe and you all fought it, it went back into him.
Hmm.
So this morning it has now been removed, but no one who has had it completely removed has tried sleeping again yet.
Okay. So,
Now that said, Zinhorn says that having attuned to this pipe, he understands that that is its function, is to do this, is to remove these nightmares from people.
and then where do they go? They get trapped in the pipe or,
It holds up the little glowing marble things. It
oh,
seems
they're
like
in there?
I'm not sure if they are still in there or if it's just somehow like a byproduct.
Hmm.
Or a transformation, possibly.
I think they're still in there.
Either way, they do become useful at this point.
How?
Well, all those things we were finding, all those artifacts, for lack of a better term, the ones that were depowering as soon as we use them, we should be able to power them with these. And of course, if there's other things finding that we find, that'd be fantastic.
And it's safe to use them?
Sure. As safe as anything else around here.
As far as we know.
Okay.
The only real way to know is to try it out.
Well, I mean, I want to take your word for it. But
Okay.
past experiences prove that maybe we should be really careful when we do.
I'll take notes.
I don't want you to get cursed again, is what I'm saying. Or
We have better
infested.
ways of dealing with it now that we're aware of it. So
True. Huh. Well, sequential. You're clean now. No more nightmares.
No more nightmares. I'm still, pretty wiped out from the last few days, but
You should rest.
I, as you said, I feel like that burden lifted.
Mhm.
And yeah, I really connected with that. So yeah, it's good. And I had attuned to the tower key,
Oh,
and we needed to control it while you were gone. But you're welcome to take it back.
okay. I like keys a lot.
I'll pass it over.
All right. I will attune to the key then for an hour. That's another thing I will do. I'll reattune to the key.
So I think Zinhorn is going to say that he wants to spend a little bit of time alone, just like meditating with Rushama to kind of reflect on all the experiences. So he's, says, it's fine to come get him if there's a problem of some kind, but otherwise.
You should
Sequential would
sleep.
100% be tinkering with one of these energy beads.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what devices we have that are.
Mm-hmm.
We had the ones that
Used.
I've used were was it a gravity ring that basically allowed me to fly?
Yeah.
And there was the the mecha backpack.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
There was also a shield generator thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's
The force nodule.
yeah, there was that thing. I had that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Were these like the one-use items that we
Yeah.
had? Or
Yeah.
oh, okay. So any of the
Exactly.
one-use items that we have in our
Right.
inventory, we can use. We can recharge them with these.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
In theory.
I think experimenting a little bit about it, just sequential, you in particular with your, the
Master machine
artifact
learning.
granted ability to just kind of intuitively understand these things is like, as soon as you're holding one of these sort of little energy modules and one of the spent ciphers, like you just sort of intuitively realize, oh yes, this is exactly what it's meant for. You can essentially just like press it into it and it will just regenerate it.
Cool.
So sequential, does it restore it for a single use, or is it more powerful than that?
It restores a single use for the ones that were single use
Yeah.
before.
Seems to be a single use.
Okay. There may be other things that we find, so we may want to hold off on particulars.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
I-
I mean,
enjoyed using the temporal viewer. It was very useful, but it's very specific about how you can use it.
Sure.
well, I mean,
So then we just need a way, we want a way to store these. I'm assuming they can touch, right?
Yeah, like you do have to like it has to be deliberate to use it
Cool.
to recharge an item.
They're stable.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it came down to it, it would take an action to do it. But yeah, like you could put them all in the same pocket without difficulty. You have to like
Cool.
deliberately focus to make it transfer.
I'll make you a pouch for them out of some of those old clothes in the closet.
I am curious as to whether they have any relationship with the Midnight Stones. That was an
Hmm.
original theory that somehow they were related in power, but I don't think the Midnight Stones are created in the same way. It might be a similar energy structure that we could be able to tap into,
Mm-hmm.
or it might be possible to generate these from other things beyond just well, I guess we're calling them nightmares. They probably aren't really nightmares.
Well,
I wonder if you could trap
Night
any spirit like that.
Terrors.
I don't think we should go trapping people's spirits and things.
Well, some spirits aren't exactly helpful or useful or nice, so those ones would be fine.
All spirits are helpful and useful and nice. All of them. have
Not
their
so
own,
sure
have
about
they all
that.
have purpose? They all have uses. Maybe
This
they're
would be a
not
use for them.
nice.
Well, this would be a
No.
useful thing for them to do or
I
become.
I'm gonna protest that. Like I will make signs and picket around this tower for days if I have to. No spirits are getting trapped in those stones.
Maybe.
No,
I'm sure we'll meet some spirits that'll change your mind.
I doubt it. But you can try.
Nonetheless, it would be useful, especially even if just a temporary prison, if not necessarily a full transformation to a power gem, power ball.
Maybe we could put our mouthy friend in there.
People don't seem
I
to
mean,
like
I
his
would
spirit.
be okay with trapping him in there, but
That was a
Ah.
pretty
You know.
quick.
We found the boundary.
Maybe they're
That didn't take long.
Yeah.
he's the only one though. Just him.
First one, maybe.
I might even change my mind. But you never
Well,
know.
with Sequential's help, we might be able to study how this works. The machinery part of it is not something I understand, but the magic part I might be able to dig into a little bit more.
Mhm.
I kind of wish that Toroshana was here.
Yeah, I kind of miss her little face, like hiding behind her mask and stuff.
Well, I miss her
She has
mind,
great
really.
insights for sure.
She does. And she's also very sensitive.
I wonder if that's somehow related.
To why she's so intelligent?
No,
Probably.
more that we've encountered these things, and well, I'm not exactly sure when the point was that we became attached with these nightmares. But if it spreads, as Sitzlebeck suggested, well, it might be worth sending word off to the Lord and Sorashana to watch out.
Yeah, you still have the little magic decoder bug, right, Sequential?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was also thinking, because Sorashana has such an affinity with these things, that maybe it was exposure to these things which gave her some of her nervous habits.
Maybe. It's a shame we can't show it to her.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
Means we have to take lots of good notes.
Well, you do already, so it's not going to be a problem. I promise.
It's harder to write today, but I'm trying. I'm
I
working
know
through
you're
it.
doing it right now while we're sitting here having this conversation. It's like put the pen down, Nedry. Come on.
But
You're
there's so
doing a
much
good
to
job.
write.
I know, but you have to sleep sometimes and you're like tired and
Yeah.
I know it's exciting, but yeah,
Well, sleep sort of just happens. It's not something I plan.
I know.
I understand there are spells to prevent sleep or replace it, but I haven't learned those ones yet.
Do you want to not sleep just so you can constantly be doing things?
Sleep does seem kind of like a waste of time.
But it's important for people such as yourself to recharge your big brain and be able to continue to use it. So if you don't give your brain a chance to process all that stuff with sleep, then eventually one day your brain is just not going to be able to work.
But you don't sleep.
I relax and meditate, which is very similar. It allows me to process my day and connect with my mistress and
But that's useful time. That's not sleep, and you only need to do it for a little while. It's like sequential. I've seen him kind of shut down and them shut down, and when they do, they just sort of stare at a page in front of them.
but he's not reading it. They aren't reading it.
I think you are, aren't you, sequential?
Yeah, I can read it as long as
When-
it's in focus. and I
Oh.
kind of, I study glyphs and, uh, yeah, it really has always seemed to be more of a, I guess, energy replenishment than a mental replenishment. But I, I doze off. Lose track of what I'm doing, I should say.
You let go.
Drift off, yes,
Yeah, you let go.
occasionally, but it's not like dreams that I've had described. Not like that nightmare. Whew,
Yeah, those are
nothing.
not
I've
good.
never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, I hope I never experience anything like that ever again.
It does make sleep sound more like a risky behavior that we should try to avoid,
Yeah.
magically if possible.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't sleep, you're just going to keep getting more and more and more exhausted. And then you won't be able to walk. I'll really have to carry you.
Well, what if, for example, we could use these, we really do need a name for them, power balls.
Yeah, I think Powerball seems right to me.
If we could use that
Like winning
energy
the lottery.
to replace instead of sleep.
Oh, Nedry.
So while all that conversation is happening, Carolina, you're out in the, riding along. You've occasionally had like, some folks pass you on the road that generally don't seem to have much interest in conversation. They're going their own way. You've been maintaining a watch on the skies and haven't seen anything following you. But part of the reason that I'm uh, proceeding to you now is that you are seeing now on the coming horizon what looks like a storm system, but what it looks a little strange, and what it actually reminds you most of, there's a little bit of an energy in the air that feels like the storm that you all weathered while on the airship.
And mm, okay, so are we still in that place where it's all like grasslands and just
Yeah,
like open
pretty
space?
much. You've got a ways of that to go before you would be getting into assuming that you had last talked about going to Sequential's workshop as the next stop, but you'd still have a couple of days probably going through mostly grasslands to get there. Some light
Okay.
forests here and there, but mostly grassland.
All right. Well, I would probably send a message.
Mhm.
Let me see if I have the spell slots. Where is it? Sending, that's what I want. Yeah, okay, I can.
Do go ahead and roll a d20 because you're technically sending it across planes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Well, I think that it's actually just a 5% chance, meaning you would have to roll a 1 for it to fail. But
okay. Um, probably to Sequential and let him know incoming storm, same as on the airship. Do I have a estimate of like how soon I think it might?
well, I think that right now you've just kind of noticed it, so it's a ways off still. You would guess that it's still at the very least an hour away, but you do recall the other storm seeming to move a little faster than expected, because it didn't seem to be using the normal winds to move. Um, but nonetheless, you think that you would have at least an hour, but it's hard to say past that.
Yep. So yeah, incoming storm, same as we encountered on the airship. mm, 1 hour or less.
You
may
need
reply to
let
this message.
everybody know.
You tell us.
Oh,
Maybe she should come inside.
Yeah.
Can
this
you
would be an
reply
excellent
to her?
opportunity to observe it, though.
But the horse.
Yeah. Can we shrink the horse?
Perhaps you and the horse should come inside.
Well, we have the same device that Sequentia was using to temporarily shrink the people to fit them through the doors.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would get down off the horse and put the tower down. Probably off the road, but I mean, like, it's all open area, so whatever. It's not really any place to hide a giant tower.
I can shrink it when you get in here.
And besides, at regular size, it's not really a giant tower. It's just tower sized.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You could make it be a giant tower. You still haven't done that.
Zaylene,
Yeah.
is there any way to see through the windows?
No. When we look outside, it's like temporal distortion because we're in another plane of existence.
I'd really like to take a closer look at this storm. It's
What
the only
if
way
I
we're going to
s-
understand it.
What if I set up my weird hut? I could make windows in it. You could look out.
That would definitely help.
I mean, I would be worried about you, but I know how much you love to learn, and maybe that would be a good opportunity.
Well, we need to know more about this storm, and whatever we can use to figure it out.
Okay,
And this time we have warning, so
true.
Is
Um,
Sequential helping me shrink down the horse and try to get it inside?
Yeah.
Like
I'll
run it up the
definitely
stairs so
help.
that it's small again?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, if you want to go ahead and take the time to do that, you can do that. I think it's easy enough to try. Like, I think the horse does not react well to being shrunk. It is not happy at all with this. Now, fortunately, it is shrunk small enough that it doesn't really have to be happy with it. You can kind of just pick it up and hold it in your hand, and it doesn't have very much say in the matter. But it is not enjoying the experience of being small.
I'm so sorry. We'll get you back to normal soon. I promise. We're just trying to keep you safe.
Make an animal handling check at disadvantage.
Hmm. What did I get? Ugh, didn't. Okay, hold on.
It's wisdom. if you don't
A
have the-
16 and a 17.
Okay.
So
That's
16.
not bad. So I think you are able to calm it a bit. But you still, I think, recognize that you haven't had the horse need to encounter Buster very much yet, and they're now kind of equivalent sizes again.
I will definitely keep it somewhere else. Buster gets hungry.
All right, yeah, so you can bring the horse inside in that way. It takes you a little while to go through that whole process. I think using that that device, and I just realized I still haven't given you proper stats for the shrinking growing gun. But you take 2 lightning damage through the process of trying to use it. But could be worse.
I will go out with Nedry and build him a little spy habitat with an open skylight that is like the glass is actually gray. It's like tinted because everything in this tower or everything in this little structure has to be shadowy. So you can see out through the skylight, but it's not clear. And I will also create windows in it too, so that you can go from different vantage points and see what you need to see.
Are we sure
Brilliant.
this is a good idea? I don't know that. Is your shadow hut gonna be able to protect him from whatever is in that storm?
Um, I don't know. I mean, unless it gets destroyed, it kind of works like things that are made out of stone. And I mean,
Well,
it
I mean,
has,
This will also
look
be a
what it
great
did to the
test of
ship.
that.
yeah, but if you're in it and it gets destroyed, I mean, it could kill you.
Probably not. I have protections.
Okay.
Just make it close to the door.
Yeah, it's right outside the tower.
I mean, you could reasonably, like, if you have the tower back at tower size, you could really make it just kind of like almost like an addition,
Porch.
you know,
Mhm.
a tent around the
Veranda.
Yeah.
Yeah, a wraparound porch so that it goes around the whole tower so that he can get a 360-degree view.
Yeah, it's a shadow deck.
And if it looks, I mean, could we have the door open into my little structure? And if things look shady, Nedry could run back inside.
Yeah, I mean,
We can try that.
I mean, it's only locked if you say it's locked, right?
The door, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so I will do that. I will build like a little wraparound the bottom of the tower thing.
All right. So I think you certainly, as you are putting that together, how long does that last? Your shadow stuff?
It lasts for 1 day, I think.
Let's see.
Doo-doo-doo. I just
Yeah.
read it and now I can't find it
It
again.
lasts for 1 day unless destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that you can watch, you can look on the horizon, and this storm is definitely moving in. The clouds have kind of slightly alarming greenish cast to them. The wind is definitely starting to pick up, and it smells a little bit bad coming from that direction. Just a little bit like sort of swampy rot.
Nedry's kind of sitting cross-legged. He's writing everything he can down in the process of all this stuff.
I'm actually going to go out there and hang out with him just to keep an eye on him, knowing that he gets wrapped up in what he's doing and might not even think that it's a good time to go.
I think Evan is interested too. Like he's a little scared, but he's trying to challenge himself. You know, and he says, well, and like my mom and my dad and I, when I was a little kid, when a thunderstorm would come through, we'd go and sit outside, under a tree, and just watch the rain, listen to the thunder. I mean, it didn't look like that, but
Yeah, those storms, if it's anything like the one that hit us when we were in the airship, they're pretty severe.
well, I mean, it looks a little bit like the one that just came through a couple days before. I mean, I guess it probably was the same one that
Yeah.
you saw when you were in the airship. Yeah, it was weird, but it kind of blew through town pretty fast.
Yeah.
On the really good news about this, sorry, the other oh, excuse me, sort of getting a little blurry. The other airship, the one that was following us, is going to have a lot of problems if it comes anywhere near this storm. So on the good side, if it is anywhere near us, it won't be.
We hope. I mean, what if they have some kind of protection? What if
That'll
they
be
know
good to
things
observe
about the
too.
storm?
If I can see it and see how it reacts, then
Mhm.
maybe I can learn how they're doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
With the storm starting to pick up a little bit closer to them, he will start to ritually cast detect magic.
Okay.
but that does take 10 minutes. So
Sure,
he's kind
sure.
of hoping to time it.
Yeah, but to just have it up as the storm is like kind of coming
Yep.
on you.
Yep.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think you're able to time that reasonably well because it is kind of a gradual thing, right? So I think when your ritual activates is about the time that the sky above you has really kind of filled now with these storm clouds, and there is not, you don't hear any thunder, but there are occasional flashes of lightning that seem to be just entirely within the clouds as opposed to coming down to the ground. When your ritual for detect magic triggers, you are seeing uh, not auras in the way that you are used to, but it does seem clear that you, you can't tell if it's the cause or an effect of whatever this storm really is, but there are huge currents of magical energy that are in constant flux through all those clouds.
It's amazing. If you could learn how to harness this, you could do tremendous things.
So it's not raining or anything now, but the wind has definitely started to pick up. The wind is pretty strong. There's this kind of like I said, the sort of a rotting, almost mildewy smell in the air. And who all is out there actually experiencing it? So we got Nedry and Zaleen and Evan. Anyone else?
Now, I'll probably be right in the foyer, just inside the door, but not
Mhm.
out there. Nuh-uh.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, probably not out.
Okay. For Zaleen and Nedry, well, and are you staying where you're only looking through like the slightly more translucent panels, or are you actually going where you can look up at the sky unobstructed?
Um, I'm I'm not gonna go outside or get near it or anything. Like I'm just looking through the glass and I'm gonna try to make sure that Nedry does too.
Hmm.
Nedry immediately goes to whatever opening there is so he can get a direct view.
Sure, sure.
Because the magic of the shadow itself is probably obscuring
Yeah,
some of his
it
vision.
definitely would. So go ahead and make a perception check as you're looking out there.
Yeah, bleary eyed. 8.
8. Yeah, uh, there's just so much happening up there. It's hard to know what you're really seeing because there is a lot of just cloud obstruction, and then the magical effects that you're seeing on top of that. It's just so much different kinds of information layered over each other that it's hard to make sense of it.
I really wish I was on an airship right now.
No,
Uh,
you don't. You would throw up, remember? It was so gross.
I didn't know it was coming. This time's different.
So all of a sudden, you are hearing a rather sudden sound of uh, what could be rain. It's clearly something falling to the ground, and you can hear it. You can't see it. You're not looking in this direction unless you decide that you want to look in this direction. But it's coming from a direction where you you can't just stand in the structure and look that way. It's but you hear kind of like how sometimes with a thunderstorm you get just this sort of wall of rain where it's not raining, but then you can just see the rain just
Mhm.
heading your way. It sounds like that, only it's sounds like very heavy.
Mm.
Nedry would be running around if there's another spot that sounds closer to it at least.
Okay. Yeah, I think you would have to like emerge from within the structure to kind of look around the corner of it, but you could do that.
Okay. Yep. He'll strap his book closed so it's
Okay.
it's more or less watertight and venture out.
Yeah, so you see what does appear to be some sort of a like this wall approaching wall of heavy rain, but it's much more obscured than you would expect. It looks like it's something more than just raindrops falling, but it's headed directly your way. Within seconds, you're going to be uh, covered in whatever this is if you don't get back under the roof of
I will grab him and pull him in.
it.
We're going to need a sample of it.
Yeah, we had one when we were on the airship. Sequential probably still has it. It's probably the same.
I
So
cast Mage Hand and
okay,
stick it out into the storm
all right.
to try to get some whatever's falling.
So you find that you're hearing all of a sudden what sounds perhaps a bit more like a hailstorm as it gets closer. And then sure enough, you watch as this wave passes before the opening that you've created in this shadow structure. And at the same time that you're hearing this shuddering impact of all of these things hitting the ceiling of this area that you're in, you can look out the opening and see that what is hitting the ground outside appears to be thousands and thousands of some kind of strange shellfish that has like a coiled up little shell and little tentacles coming out of the front. If people know what a nautilus looks like, it's kind of like that. But these are all, this just a couple of inches across, but there's just thousands and thousands of them raining across the ground. And Nedry, as you hold out your mage hand, uh, when one of them goes to land right in its palm, it just passes right through and you feel your mage hand be dispelled.
Oh, I wonder. Oh, that's probably. It's not very strong.
He casts it again.
Sure.
Tries to send it out to pick up the thing.
Exactly the same thing. Or like you reach out to like pick up one off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And as you watch, as you go to like to touch it, you watch it, you pick one up, but then the fingers in contact with it start to just dissolve and the shellfish falls back to the ground and your mage hand is dispelled again. And as you're kind of noticing that, Zaylene, you're looking up and around and you are realizing that your shadow material here may as well be stone for most purposes in terms of how strong and sturdy it is.
Yep.
But you're starting to hear some ominous sounds, almost like if you were in a hailstorm, trying to ride out a hailstorm in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Where it's just like things are starting to sort of shift ominously and the sound is getting louder. And you're just feeling everything sort of shudder in a way that it shouldn't.
Come on, Nedry, we gotta go.
I just need to look a few notes.
No. You can take notes inside. Come on. And I will like
Evan
grab
uses
him.
the end of his sword to try to scoop up one of these little things from outside, and he's got it like balanced on the end of his sword.
Okay, but
Like, should I bring it inside?
No.
Yes.
No. It negates magic, and this tower is magic.
Well, then it's going to destroy the tower anyway. I mean, it's not going to, but
Maybe if we bring it inside, it will. I'm not. No. No.
well, just set it on the outside of the door so I can take a look at it from inside.
Okay. He does that. He kind of just tilts it like on the ground just outside the door.
There's a whole ocean out there. I'm sure they'll be there when this is gone. If it goes.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I think with Sequential and Carolina with you inside, have you had the door like actually open or just unlocked but closed?
Closed, I think, but
So-
unlocked.
I assumed closed, unlocked.
Sure. So closed certainly lets them come back in if they want to, but it leaves you with no like sound or visual signal of what's going on outside. Excuse me, burp. But I think you had heard, nonetheless, a strange sort of rumbling sound come on. And that's when Zaylene and Nedry and Evan sort of hurry back in. And with the door open, you definitely hear like you still hear the sort of low rumbling from inside, but there's almost a hailstorm roar outside, even though the the shadow structure seems to be like vibrating in sympathy to this onslaught.
I would do like a quick visual scan of everybody as they come in, and then I'm gonna like head upstairs
Mm-hmm.
to see if like there's
Yeah,
I don't know.
Evan comes in and says, "It's raining magic snails."
It's
Of course it
amazing.
is.
It's raining anti-magic snails, actually.
Okay, I
Oh,
mean,
that
More
can't be
accurate,
good.
really.
No,
Can
Nedry
be
stuck his
fantastic.
mage hand out there and it like disintegrated completely.
I know. Wasn't it fantastic? They
Yeah,
weren't supposed to do that.
it was
Mm-mm.
amazing.
so Caroline, you go up what to the top floor or?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go through the door that'll shrink me, obviously,
sure.
but like this is like as close to the roof as I can really get. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, just like check the ceiling in the room that's up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you don't see anything amiss, but the roar that I described it is louder up there.
Hmm,
How long is this supposed to last?
we don't know.
Mm.
So I'll stand in the doorway, like peeking inside the door, like in
Mhm.
case anything comes through, but I'm gonna stay there.
Like
Okay.
like the shrinky door.
No, the door to the what is it, the workshop that's up on the top floor?
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll be like in the doorway, like warily watching the ceiling.
Well, it's kind of everyone. If if you have that last door open, you could they could call down to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I could
Shortcut.
prop that open.
Mhm.
Although we
Uh,
don't want Buster or the horse running through there.
Well,
Well-
don't you have the horse in a secret place so that Buster doesn't eat
You
it?
have, you have the horse under glass.
Probably would have put him in the bedroom.
Let him
Don't
run
let
around
Buster
on the
in there
bed.
because he'll eat all the stuff.
Yeah. So I think as a minute or so goes by and this roar is continuing, Carolina, you do make a perception check. You do make a perception check.
Wait a second. If I have one level of exhaustion,
Then ability
Disadvantage.
checks are a disadvantage.
yeah, okay, so I got to roll again. It's not automatically doing it.
Okay.
Oh, 17 and 20, not natural, so 17.
Okay. Yeah. So you do see that over in one corner, this is a stone ceiling in here, but you see that there is one place where in the the join between two stones, you see what looks like sort of like a bead of some kind of slime seeming to form to bead
Ugh.
out from one of the joins between the stones.
Gross. I think we have a problem. We're leaking. Goo.
Anti-magic, I told you.
This is fascinating.
Can I try let's see. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on it and see if that gets rid of it.
Okay.
I don't know how that'll work, but
Yeah. I think
try it.
I think that it's yeah. You cast the spell. It does not seem to have any obvious visual effect.
Prestidigitate it. Clean it up.
Yeah, I'll try that too, but I don't think it'll work. That's just a cantrip, so no big deal.
Well, so prestidigitation does seem to remove the initial sort of beating surface tension droplet, but then another one kind of forms. It's almost kind of
Mhm.
like you just wiped away the initial drip, but there's more behind it.
Well, I'll keep
Mhm.
doing that until like this storm stops and maybe we can repair whatever is leaking.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything, or are you just kind of holding your breath, waiting for hoping for the
Is
storm
the
to pass?
is the
Right.
front door open still or
You tell me.
closed?
No, I closed it and I'm holding you like a football, so you're probably really angry, like kicking, trying to get away.
Well, he'll head up the stairs if he's actually on the ground
Okay.
because
So
there's
yeah,
something
I
interesting
mean,
up there. So
yeah. So do you head up to join Carolina there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's strange. Do you think it's a side effect of the tower itself being pummeled, or maybe what's left of those things if they're pummeled heavily enough against the tower?
I don't know. Anything would be pure speculation on my part.
Of
Prestidigitation.
course.
Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation. This is the equivalent of putting a bucket under a leak in the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do
Although
this
the roof's
forever.
melting, so not exactly the same.
I think after a moment or so, you realize that there is another droplet forming in a different spot on the ceiling.
No.
You have mending,
Prestidigitation,
Carolina?
prestidigitation, prestidigitation, prestidigitation. It's turning
Um,
into Swiss cheese.
Mm-hmm.
we're on the
Wait.
level with the workshop, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the top floor. Yeah.
Okay. Nedry will run into the workshop and look to see if he can find something to hold some of this goo,
Okay.
like just a vial or a bucket or something like that.
Well, there's not much in the way of undestroyed furniture on that level unless you had moved stuff up, but you could certainly go down to like the kitchen and get like a cup or a bowl or something.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Okay.
And he'll bring it back up and with mage hand kind of carefully position it
Mm-hmm.
to kind of scrape. He's doing the get a sample of this, would you, Venkman, and kind of scraping a sample of it.
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly. Just got the like. Ugh, ugh.
Those sneezes, I have to keep a sample of.
Yeah. So I think though that as you get a little bit on like the edge of the bowl, but then to probably everyone's more or less is great relief, the sound does start to kind of dissipate and trail off.
Okay, I will open the door and look out
Okay.
with Evan,
Yeah.
cheek
So
to cheek. Like,
well, I was imagining the door open just a crack and then one head and then another
Yeah.
head above.
that's better. Yeah.
So yeah, it seems that this this wave of falling nautiloids has passed. There are no new ones falling, and as you look, you can see several places in your shadow structure that have been kind of eaten through.
Mhm.
But all of these little creatures on the ground seem like they're kind of slowly dissolving. I say slowly only in relative terms because it's a bit like you had if you turned a normal decomposition process, multiply it by 100, but it's
Okay.
still like not instantaneous. It's just they're getting very slimy and starting to kind of break apart.
I'm going to tell Evan to run up into the kitchen to see if there's like a jar or something that we could try to catch one in,
Okay.
like put one in.
Yeah. I mean, he does so, and I think you can get one into the jar. Inside the jar, it does not seem to have stop its process.
Right.
But yeah, so the storm does seem to have passed though. And
Does this, as they decompose, do they look like the stuff that we found on the airship
The
that
slime?
was all
Yeah.
gross? Yeah. So sequential, that's what happened to the airship. That's what broke it.
Oof.
I
Makes
mean,
sense.
airships run on magic, right? Sort of.
Partially, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that it looked like something had taken a bite out of it or something?
No, there was that goo, like slimy goo stuff everywhere.
On the
it was
top.
it was both.
Yeah.
The part we had to replace looked like something had
Mm-hmm.
used it as a chew toy.
Maybe it ate away at it like acid.
Mm.
Maybe these things,
Yeah.
when they hit something, actually can move and wriggle and eat, whatever they are.
Maybe.
Ooh, that one that ate the part of the airship would have had to been really big.
Unless there were several of them.
There are a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many. When they were coming down, they were just like thousands and thousands of them. And they were eating away at my little house porch, at our tower.
So
But
the
both of
storm
them
itself is
survived.
passed though?
Seems to.
Yeah.
The sky is still kind of overcast, but you don't smell that strange rotting smell on the wind anymore.
I mean, the good news is if the airship people were close by, they're probably not anymore.
Oh, I've got to go outside.
Okay.
And Nedry's going to start observing both how it affected the tower, if there's any visible damage on the outside, the shadow structure, but also just the regular ground and grass and trees and the road.
Mm-hmm.
And if they look like they've been melted or affected or just splattered upon.
So basically, everything that you can see in the general vicinity seems unaffected, except by the effect that you might expect just from the physicality of what happened. Meaning, just certainly damage to the trees and, strange puddles and everything's kind of covered with slime, but it's nothing that you wouldn't expect just from the physical impacts of these things falling out of the sky and then the slime left behind. And then at
And
least
does this-
looking up at the tower from the ground, you don't notice anything. I mean, other than there's kind of slime all over it, you don't see any other obvious damage.
Good, good.
But
Nice
I'm gonna
one.
walk up to the room upstairs where everything was going and see how it looks
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
Don't
So
see any holes? It's just leaking.
yeah. So like once you do prestidigitation a couple more times on those places where it was leaking, it doesn't come back.
That's
Huh.
a relief.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's any like
That's
long-term
encouraging.
damage.
So I
I
would
guess we won't
probably
know.
go down and start checking the other rooms just to see
Mhm.
if there was any
Yeah. You don't see any. You don't see
damage
any
or anything.
indication of damage anywhere else. Also, the little bit of a sample of the slime that you got in the bowl, Nedry,
Mhm.
and the nautiloid that Evan collected in a jar. The nautiloid continues its slow disintegration. Just uninterrupted by being collected into a jar, and within a few minutes, it's just a little blob of slime left in the bottom. And then what you're seeing, Nedry, with just having collected a little bit of this slime on the side of the bowl, it seems to just kind of evaporate into nothing, leaving just sort of a greasy smudge on the side of the bowl. But that's about it.
Still something.
Maybe I've just been hanging around Nedry too long, but I kind of wonder what would happen if we put one of those pearls and one of the snail things together.
Interesting.
Would the pearl go away? That means the nightmare would get eaten,
Free
right? So
or
maybe the
free?
storm could be a good thing. It just doesn't discern what kind of magic, like good or bad. It doesn't
Maybe.
care. It just
Maybe.
makes it go away.
Maybe.
I mean, is that an experiment that you want to try?
I'd hate to lose one of these pearls.
I don't like them. I mean, I saw what they were, and just the even though they're like little stones now, that doesn't change what they are. Really,
Well,
I mean, it
yeah,
changes
I
the
mean,
form, but
they're
I know what
inert
it
now.
was.
They can't get out, or unless, unlike you're saying, that might release it, which is
Yeah.
slightly terrifying.
Yeah, because then we'd have to fight it again.
Well, I didn't mean that it would release it. What if it ate it?
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's another possibility.
Like if it just
Mm.
eats magic stuff and makes it go away.
Hmm.
Maybe.
So I mean, what does
Toss
rain
a
do?
slug at
Rain
a-
comes and washes everything away, right? So it's just kind of a different type of rain. I'm trying to look on the bright side, guys. There's not a whole lot of
Yeah,
I know.
I'm laughing just because I'm imagining the image of you all kind of standing just inside the threshold of the tower, and you saying rain comes and washes everything away, and you kind of all glance out at the landscape just covered with weird alien slime.
Yeah.
pearl out
Well,
there like a bowling ball.
the good news is if we can find some non-magical shelter, that should be fine. It doesn't seem to have a particular effect on non-magical things. The mage hand is a very simple spell, so I'm not surprised that it wasn't able to withstand it. Your spell, Zaline, with the shadow bricks, is a lot more sophisticated, and this tower is much more, but still they're vulnerable to it. So if we were to find a cave to stay in, or even maybe just a structure, we should be relatively safe.
Maybe.
I think it does occur to you, though, Nedry, that a storm like this, with this the effect it seems to have, um, like, out here in the wilderness, sure. In a town like Gorn, it's weird and unsettling, but probably fine. But there are certainly parts of Pashan where something like that would just wreak havoc on
Oh no, the
the
castle.
infrastructure
The
they have
magic,
there.
yeah, the
Oh
magic
no.
seems to, dictate so much of what happens in our world that it could be catastrophic in a lot
Well,
of places.
if this did strike Bashan, there would be quite a bit more damage, I think. Not only that, there are a lot of spirits that, when they get struck with something like this, would themselves, I think, be diminished.
Yeah,
You
so
think
much magical
Sonia's okay?
infrastructure.
That's what I was just thinking.
We can try to contact them and find out. The storm that we passed through, I think, was heading sort of in that direction.
Yeah.
I didn't notice exactly because we were falling out of the sky at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, we did get that letter.
Did they
But-
say, because I had sent warning about the storm before. Did they say anything about that in the letter?
No.
Been a while since I read it.
No, but I mean, the letter could have been sent before the storm happened
That's true.
because we sequential got it like the next day or the same day.
Yeah, it was when you were repairing the airship.
Mhm.
And if it
So-
eats magical things, like sending a letter that way, the letter might get eaten by the
Not make it.
snails.
Yeah. I mean, you could do sending, but don't you have the sending stone?
Oh, that's right. I do have that.
Yeah.
So the problem with that is that our communications might be monitored.
I know, but we're already being monitored. And I mean, I personally don't want anything to happen to Sunya or
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord Gilbert or anybody.
Just,
So
Doesn't
I,
seem-
I would take
just
out
don't
the
say where we
sending.
are and do it within the tower. That should be safer.
I will take out the sending stone, probably stand in the doorway so that I'm like on the same plane.
Go
So
in
I'll
my
take out
little
the-
shadow house.
Yeah, take out the sending stone and say another storm incoming. Rains anti-magic snails. Be very careful.
Who you're sending that to Yobert or?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I think you notice first of all that there is a strange, like, this, like the sounds the sending stone makes when you sort of speak into it has kind of a resonance that it usually does, that you're sending the message with. And I think it sounds different. Like there's a strange little bit of an echo in there that you're not used to.
That's weird.
The reply you get doesn't seem to have that echo, but it also sounds like somehow it's slightly slowed down. But you hear Yobert say, Carolina, it's good to hear from you. Thank you for the warning. Much to tell, but still not safe. Good luck.
I will relay that. And I'm not going to send another message just because I know there's risk in that. So, so yeah, I would describe the strange echoey feeling to it and give them the reply that I got.
Maybe it was like that because it was traveling through the storm, like the magic of it.
Well, it's also possible. I think maybe I'm trying to remember whether or not these work directly, like if they're on a different plane, if the other one is on a different plane, if it still works, but maybe it'll be different. I don't know that we did
And
that.
Nedry theorized about that.
The one that you have is designed to work on the same plane, but you do have, you were just outside though, so.
Maybe it's bugged. Maybe
That
that's
could
how they're
be.
tracking us.
Well, anybody should be concerned about that storm. Like maybe if it's the friend of the emperor, that's, maybe they can tell the emperor that the storm is coming and to prepare. Like that's okay. Give people
Yeah, I
warning.
know. I'm just saying, like, what if they put like a bug in that wasn't even Lord Gilbert?
There's nothing I can do about that. I did what I could.
Somebody knows. That's good.
Yeah. Guinea pigs everywhere now.
That's the horse.
Yeah.
Jumping on the bed. Do you think we should get rid of it?
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
But
We
I've
could leave
been
it in the
trying
tower,
not to
though.
use it.
Yeah. If we leave it in the tower, then it's on another plane of existence. Oh.
I think I'm gonna hang on to it just because I'm not comfortable with that. I'm still not sure that it's the tower that was giving us the nightmares or like what is happening. So I'm just like, I had this before all of that started. So
Well, I could put it in the bag. It would go into one of the anti-magic holds, so it would be depowered and indistinguishable on another plane. But that might be going too far.
Yeah, I think that is going too far. Plus, it would be really close to that guy. Even though he's prison down there, I don't want to mess around. I don't trust that guy. Who knows what he's capable of? He could be just lying and not even really be imprisoned. We don't know.
Well, he is sort of semi ancient, I think. So some power is probably quite an accurate statement.
Probably like 99% corrupted at this point.
Definitely.
Yeah, he might be corrupted. We could use Zenhorn's pipe to remove the corruption or nightmare from him, if
Yeah,
that's
but
what's
think
bothering
about
him.
what would come out of him.
Yeah, I know.
We had a hard enough time with the one that came out of Evan.
But now we'll be prepared, and it wouldn't be the second one or third one we'd be fighting in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we shouldn't do it right now today.
Yeah, I don't.
But
No, definitely not.
I think
We'd
wanna prepare
Zinhorn would
properly.
ask, would the magic of the pipe work through the anti-magic cage?
Probably
no,
not.
we'd have to take him out. But I mean, we could shackle him maybe.
but we
We
don't know
could-
what he can do. Like if he was
Oh.
given the power to like shapeshift, like he said he didn't have that before and that it was a gift given to him. Like who knows what else he can do?
Yeah, but who gave it to him? And like, I mean, I don't know. That sounds really familiar to me. Something that the Mistress of the Dark said to me.
I don't know. It sounds a little bit like what was happening with maybe whatever is in the crown thing that Nedry, the circlet that Nedry was wearing. Maybe it's the same kind of thing got to Tanglefoot.
Yeah,
And-
maybe.
He didn't have
Well-
anybody to help him out.
But we do have the ability to do that now. We can remove curses. We have abilities to disrupt magic and possibly get rid of nightmares.
I think that
might
would
be
be a
interesting
pretty
to-
strong nightmare.
But it's what we're supposed to do.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should keep our
Specifically, his
Yeah,
nightmare.
let's-
We're supposed to do that.
No, just in general.
Oh,
We have
okay.
to, like it's everything's imbalanced.
well, but I think with starting with the
yeah.
smaller ones, we can build up our strengths and learn better how to fight them. You don't want to like run in and take on this huge behemoth monster. It would be like the difference between fighting Sitzlebeck and fighting the Elamond in the pond there. That's the difference.
Element
I
is
don't think
pretty
we're ready for that yet.
strong. I mean,
So we'll put
That
it on the back
spirit
burner
wants
until
to
we
kill
get some
me.
more details.
I think so.
Also,
Yeah.
we should be able to devise some way of controlling the storms. If we could do
Yeah.
that, we could use them for a lot of power. I mean, for example, if we were able to direct where the storm went to, then those airships wouldn't be a problem anymore. Or if there's some other dangerous creature we're dealing with, then we could bring the power of the storm to them. That would
anybody
slow
have
them
a
down
map?
quite a bit.
Does anybody have a map?
I believe that I could put a map on the screen here. Just a moment.
Because I was just thinking, so we know about where we are, right? And we know about where we were the last time we got hit by the storm. So that's 2 points on the map that we could connect. And from what I got from Yobert, I think that it definitely hit Pashan. So we could, that would be 3 points that we could, trace on the map. So we could maybe see its path and how long it takes to travel it, maybe?
maybe.
Yeah. So this current location of the little symbol here on the map. Well, shoot, I've got the everything's not set up quite right because we only have 4 people, but so all of your windows are a little bit messed up. But oh wait, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. But just to indicate the, sorry, let me fix this. It's taking a moment to switch over the screen, but certainly, so when you were initially heading from Pashan to Gorn, you got hit by that initial storm. When you were like most of the way there. And now, although this location is approximate, you think that that's probably pretty close to where you are currently. Oh, hang on. I can let you all see this in Roll20 as well instead of just showing it. There we go. So if you're in Roll20, you should be able to see the map there now.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we could figure out what direction it was traveling from,
Which
But-
direction did it seem to be coming from and going?
As
Uh,
best as you could tell, it was coming from the east, because Lynn saw it on the horizon she was headed towards when she was riding.
actually, if it was heading east to west, it might miss Bashan. This one, anyway.
There's no way to find out either because we can't really talk to Lord Yobert. But I
Well,
mean,
that's not exactly the only way we need to talk. we could talk to anybody in Bashan.
True.
Mm. I'd be worried that anybody that I knew that I tried to contact and ask that would make them a target, and I don't want to do that.
I know somebody I could ask who probably could defend themselves. I've been worried about it, and I don't want to do it until the nightmare is gone, though, in case that transfers corruption.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I don't think the sending
Trying to
stone
look on the
necessarily
bright
would.
side, and you keep giving me more like doom and gloom. Tell me
The way that
something
I do
good.
it is more involved, so it would carry more possibility of corruption. I don't think the sending stone would. It's more separated magic, really simpler. But if it came from the east, sequential, isn't that approximately where the workshop is?
Well, the road we're on is kind of going to the
Mhm.
toward like southeast.
Yeah,
Right, but
well,
we're not going all the way
Right.
down to Emersham, though.
right. You
No.
are actually, you think you're probably getting close to the point where you'll want to leave this main road to go more towards into the mountains to get to that workshop.
Eastward.
Yeah, you have not yet reached the branch point that you know to be expecting sequential, but it's
Mhm.
not far. You're pretty
One-
sure. You just don't know precisely where Sitzlek dropped you, so you're
Right.
waiting for a new landmark.
Inside the storm were numerous strands of magical energy. And while it's possible the storm is somehow a natural occurrence, I have a feeling it's more than that. And well, imagine you're on the top of a hill, and down at the bottom of the hill was someone you didn't really like, but you couldn't hit them from there because it's too far away. You're way at the top of the hill. So you push a boulder and it rolls down the hill and hopefully crushes them. I mean, you really don't like them, so that's okay. But trying to roll a ball or a rock all the way down that hill is not exactly accurate. All sorts of things could knock it off track, or it could just simply miss altogether if you were off by a little bit. I've got a theory that if the storm is directed, that maybe it's not easy to direct. After all, it's full of both magic and apparently anti-magic, so it would be a bit chaotic. So it might be someone who's trying to send out the storm to hit something. Maybe us, maybe the people who are following us, maybe something else entirely. And it's just very inaccurate. It's only a theory, though. If it's a theory that's right, it could mean that we'd have a way to control the storms from wherever they're generated.
Hmm.
Well, there's also so there was that thing about how we opened the book, right? And it sent out this wave of something.
Right.
So think about like throwing a pebble in a puddle and you see all the ripples go out. So what if it was like that only in reverse? So the storm follows back to where those ripples came from. Does that make sense?
It would be like a signal, the echo coming back.
Which is why I was going to say, I don't think it's a good idea to open the book again, because what if it sends out another, beacon? Like, here
Actually,
I
it might
am,
be
come and hit me.
It might be the best thing we can do. But
Maybe
the
it
other
would turn
problem,
it off.
well, the other problem with your theory is that this storm didn't seem to be heading towards Bashan. At least it didn't roughly. And that's when we opened the book. It was in Bashan. So if it is an echo, then it might be an echo of something
Well,
else.
bear in mind, though, it's not like you could see specific edges of a very small storm. It was basically
True.
all along the horizon, and then it passed by you, and then you watched it on the far horizon. So it's not you know that it was moving in an approximately westward direction, but doesn't mean that there wasn't a northern south component as well.
True.
But if your theory is correct, and it is sort of sending out a signal that echoes, then it would be a good idea to open up the book, but at a strategic place, somewhere to direct its attention where we're not going to be. And hopefully where no one else can be hurt either.
Well, where would that be though?
Emerson.
Well, people live there. It's a city.
I know these things.
Well, it's,
It's
also
more
it's
of-
also where you're planning to be, as opposed to where.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. We would have to be there to open the book. I
Yeah.
mean, wherever we are, the book is going to get open. When we open it, it's going to be where we are. But I don't know.
Well, we might be able to move quickly out of the way, but the other thing is that would give more points for your other theory, Lynn, with more than one point to draw lines on the map.
Mm. I mean, we know that the opening the book did something. It sent out something, and we know this. Pretty sure we can say these storms didn't start until all of this, like the opening in the book, like all of that started. So I don't know. It, they correlate, but maybe they're not cause and effect. I don't know. It just seems like it's just too much coincidence.
You
Well,
know
that's
who
what
would
most
know?
magic really is.
You know who would know? Rupino.
Probably.
Mm.
Wouldn't be
There's
surprised
got to
if
be others.
all of them knew.
Mm.
Maybe Tanglefoot too. Tanglefoot
true.
probably the most of all.
Maybe whoever made the book. That's probably Rupino. It seems like the kind of thing he might do. I mean, look at the
I'm
little
not
mini
sure.
house, look at the tower, like all of it is like that house especially, it was a story. I know stories, and that's a story. Every person in that house had their own personality, had their own motives and, feelings that maybe they weren't real, but they were like characters in a book. Someone took the time to write them.
I know that. I know that he said that we shouldn't let him out, but a part of me feels like we should. I mean, he's trapped in there and he's been trapped in there for how long? He's being denied.
Well, so was the dead guy.
But
saying.
now he's dead and now he's free.
Is he though?
He's dead.
Well,
He's not
but he was
undead.
also very corrupted. We don't. Do they all go the same place?
I
Like, what
don't,
if the nightmare went with him and then he's not free?
I don't think it did.
So, incidentally, you do still have that body, and it looks untouched because it's got gentle repose cast on it.
Hmm.
So, it basically looks exactly as it did when you brought him out of the auction house.
Well, that's Trendino, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant in terms of the body.
Yeah.
Well, there was
Yeah.
the diplomat body that was in the cell in the bag.
That,
Yes.
No, we already talked to him.
But I thought that's who we were talking about as having died already.
Mm-mm.
Well, you did speak with Dead
No.
with both of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was talking about Trendino.
Okay.
That's who
I
thought
mean,
we were
he's
talking to.
dead, but Rupino is not. And
Well,
Do we know that?
I feel like I do. And I
he's
feel
probably
like,
preserved in the gem.
but how fair is that?
Depends on who put him in there, I guess.
And why they put him in there? We don't know.
Well,
It's
if
also
he was-
possible he put himself in there.
if he was trying to stop the corruption and the people who were corrupted didn't want that, what would they do?
Well, but that's what Trendino was trying to do as well.
But Trendino was corrupted, heavily corrupted.
Well, maybe that was from being trapped in here for so long.
I don't think
I mean,
so.
who knows how long he was trapped in that little miniature house prison?
I don't think so. I think he was corrupted before when he came here looking for Rupino, allegedly, which is what he says he was doing, but we don't know if that's what he was really doing.
Well, let's be careful about pointing fingers about corruption until we're able to get a better handle on it, because according to Sitzlebeck, we're also very corrupted. And I don't feel particularly evil.
It said
Not
not as
wearing a
much
hat
as
or anything.
Rufino, but or no, Trandinel, not as much as we weren't as corrupted as Trandinel, but he had been in here longer. Is what I'm saying. So it's like you've got a few thousand years for that tumor of corruption to grow in your head. Like even if when he came in here, it was just like a little nightmare. Like who knows how big it could have gotten over all that time.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Is it clear enough to ride yet? I think we should keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. The storm has passed. Like the sky has stayed kind of overcast in the storm's wake, but it's it's not raining or anything.
I think that you should go lie down, Carolina.
No,
Evan says,
I'm good.
I am
Yeah,
happy to
no.
take a turn riding.
No,
this-
it's still light out.
I
I'm
insist.
fine.
I insist.
I'm not tired.
I don't care.
You can't make me.
I could, but I won't.
I have notes to work on.
And he leaves for another room.
You're exhausted. You're corrupted. And riding
I'm
a
not-
horse
we don't
for
need to
several
waste the
more
day.
hours. We're not wasting the day. I can do it.
It's light outside still. There's hours and hours of
overcast.
daylight.
I have a hat. It'll be okay. Evan's
Well,
gonna
even
come
if
with
I
me.
didn't, I would just be sitting here worrying about it.
It'll
I'm
be
not
okay.
tired. I don't want to go to sleep yet. So I can either be of use and do something, or I can just sit here and be a mess. And I'm not going to do that.
Well, you can help sequential. There are all kinds of things you can do that are useful.
I don't think I would be very much help to what Sequential and Nedry are doing. But I can ride a horse.
So can I.
So can Evan.
And so can Evan.
Well, I'm the one with the horse. I pick him up and take him outside.
and you
Take my horse and go
you-
home.
Yes, and you find yourself stamp out of the tower in a huff and realize you're still holding a guinea pig-sized horse.
In this world, the horse ride you.
Well, I will just walk with him then.
Get a little leash.
No, we need the tower to be shrunk. So
Actually, I take that back. I don't think that is the case
I
because you
thought-
just
yeah, I
brought him
think he
around,
would-
so you hadn't changed his default size yet. So, yeah, if you
yeah, he would probably be real dizzy.
well, no, yeah, what I would say is instead, as soon as you emerge from the tower, make a dexterity saving throw.
Saving throws. 17. Wait, is that one a disadvantage too?
No,
Or is it
just
just
checks.
ability checks? Okay,
Ability.
17.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to avoid being crushed by the suddenly horse-sized horse that appears next to you. It definitely knocks you over, though.
I'm gonna walk out and I'm gonna hold my hand out to you and help you up. And I'm gonna take your face in my hands and look into your eyes and tell you, I know that you're scared and I know that you don't want to go to sleep, but you can't run yourself ragged.
I'm not running anywhere. I'm sitting on the back of a horse.
You know how much energy that requires?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
easy
you
to
are
ride a
probably
horse.
Pretty tired.
Like, riding a horse isn't just sitting on it. It requires the use of muscles, concentration.
I would rather be doing something useful, and I can't be very useful in the tower.
I'll tell you what,
Let me
I will
ride until
ride.
dark.
I will ride and you can ride with me.
We can't move as fast that way.
Yes, we can.
Fine.
Thank you. Evan, go back in the tower.
Jeez. All right. Well, maybe I'll go work on swords with Zinhorn.
Yeah, there you go. And I will shrink up the tower,
All right.
put it in my pocket.
Okay, so continuing on then, you realize that it's been long enough that even though there's still signs that there was a somewhat destructive storm that passed by, the slime seems to have just more or less evaporated back into the air as far as you can tell. You're not seeing much evidence of it anymore. And you are just continuing on. I am assuming that you have spoken with Sequential about what landmark you are looking for to make the turnoff. We don't have to, you know, nickel and dime that piece of it. We
Yeah, I
just
think
say,
they would be able to describe it pretty well.
yeah.
So
I think then that you're continuing along. So Sequential and Nedry, are you just kind of passing the time with your studies, or?
Yeah, I'm a little bit a little bit worried about kind of like, I guess, making mistakes or critical thinking, being so tired. So I'm going to do, some busy work, equipment maintenance, and
You could probably,
easy.
I maybe Zinhorn says, while I'm doing some training with Evan, can you buster sit for me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because he is definitely continuing to, like, anytime he's not being actively engaged with, he is destroying anything he can reach. All right. And so, are you just working on your studies, Nedry, or?
Yeah, I kind of imagine it for the same reason that sequential is not trying to do anything thought heavy. Nedry is actually trying to. So right now he's coming up with wild theories and things that aren't exactly in his lucid mind kind of thing. Stuff that tomorrow he'll look at, just sort of shake his head, frown at, and maybe there's a pearl of wisdom here or there. It's kind of the extension too of his expanding understanding of magic. So what he saw in the storm and trying to relate that to the Denetherian magic and all the tower. And it kind of turns into this vast conspiracy that sort of shifts and morphs several times about, magical theory and so forth. There's a lot of paper written that is half incoherent. So
So I think as you're continuing to ride along, Zaleen and Carolina, you're out there. Are you talking about stuff, or are you just kind of?
no, I have changed into my little dwarf Belinda,
Okay.
the elderly dwarf, and I'm pouting.
I've been just very quiet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't even have a radio to put on.
No.
oh, that's why you have a bard, right?
Yeah, that's why you have a bard, but
Yeah, well,
she's pouting.
Yeah.
The radio's busted. The bard's busted. Turn it to another dial.
Yeah.
Turns out she's cranky when she's tired.
Yeah.
Quick, change the channel. Different Lynn.
So as you're riding along, though, it's fairly standard landscape as you've seen, but go ahead and you know what? I'll just say, Zaleen, you noticed this first, that you're hearing very quietly off to one side what sounds like a couple of tiny little voices going, help, help us, help us, help us. And I think after a moment you realize it seems to be coming from the direction of a big tree that you're gonna pass shortly on the right side of the road.
You hear that?
I think now that she mentions it, you do.
Yeah.
Help!
What is
Help
that?
us! Help!
All right, I will slow the horse down
Hold
as
on a
we
minute.
approach. Okay.
I'm looking at something.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it looks like I would have to. Okay, I'm looking at the remote viewer that I've not used.
Okay.
But it looks like it has to be split into two halves and maybe like separated, like one put somewhere physically and
Yeah,
the
I
other.
mean it's kind of like a spy camera is how it works. Is you
Right.
have to place the one piece and
Yeah,
then you
so
can
that
look
won't
through it
work.
from the other
Okay.
piece.
Okay.
All right. I think we should be. Forgot who I was. Think-
You need a different hat for each character or something.
Yeah.
A prop,
So you
a
remember
prop
who
you can
you are.
change.
I think we'd best be careful. Gonna proceed slowly on the horse.
Mhm.
Mhm. You
Yeah.
approach slowly and see if we can see anything like in the tree.
Yeah, so make a perception check as you're getting, you certainly hear the voices more clearly as you get closer to the tree, but you can also each make a perception check, or if you want to have one of you do it with
Whoa.
advantage, you could do that. Although Carolina's would be at disadvantage, so.
Yeah, I
Mine's
rolled 2,
24.
so 16.
Okay. Yeah, I think Zaleen, you spot more quickly that within so this tree has a big thick trunk that sort of splits into almost like a cradle of branches, and the leaves are around that area, but you see that in kind of a crook in the branches there's a little opening that looks like there's maybe a hollow area in there, but you see some little tiny faces and hands waving in there. And when I say little tiny, I do mean like like the people would be 4 or 5 inches tall. But there's
Are
some
they humanoid?
they approximately, but I think your first instinct is that they look like sprites.
Would they be small enough that mage hand would work in this instance?
Well, they are waving, help us, help. So when you say would mage hand work, I mean, what do you mean?
So like fly up there and sort of let them walk
Well,
out
if I
onto
wanted
it?
to like pick the
They're
okay, maybe we should just
actually
talk
at
to him first.
about your head height on the
Oh.
horse. That they're not like way up high.
Use the mage hand to wave back.
They won't see it; it's invisible.
Oh.
Usually
Hello?
mage hand is not invisible unless you have the special feat
Oh.
that makes it invisible.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was an invisible.
No,
No,
it's
it's
only
only
invisible if you're like
invisible-
an arcane trickster or you have that
Yeah.
feat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a spectral floating hand. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Hello there. Hello.
Help us!
What seems to be the problem?
We need help!
From what?
Are you stuck?
Stop being stupid and just come over here and help us!
I don't know.
I will cast Mage Hand and send it towards the hollow in the tree. If you need a hand, grab hold.
We need more help than just a hand!
What do you need help with?
Come closer and we'll tell you!
I don't think so.
But we need help!
Yeah. I mean, we all kind of need help, right?
Is that a philosophical question?
Yes. It
You maybe
is.
shouldn't try to think so hard.
Probably not, but I think that that's what I was made for.
We're made to. This is really kind of interfering with our need for help.
I don't think you really need help
Oh yeah, why's that?
because you can't even tell us what you need help with. You just want us to come over there, but I mean, we're pretty clever and I don't think we're going to do that.
When you say you're pretty clever, they actually all laugh, and it's kind of a mean laugh.
Yeah.
And we're up to a canter. Bye.
See you later. Have a good day.
Screw you, Giants!
Giants.
Don't trust it. Trust no one.
Well, now they're in the enemy column. There you go.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 giants. That's
So, as you continue along the road, about 10 minutes goes by, and then you start hearing the voices again, but this time they're ahead on the left. But here's where you have a bit of a like moment of disorientation, because it looks like the same tree, but on the other side. So basically, you sort of realize all of a sudden, right now, the landscape you're seeing in front of you looks as though you went 5 minutes ahead and then turned around and came back along the same stretch of road. So it does not look like the tree has moved. What you're seeing looks like
That we came at it from.
you came and you're
like we turned
coming back
around
the other way. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
You don't remember
I'm
turning
going-
around, but it looks like, looking around at the road, it looks like you did. And in fact, you actually realize, looking up at the horizon now, you don't see the mountains in the horizon anymore.
I'm going
What
to
the heck?
cast minor illusion of
Okay.
the tree. Like,
Right.
so that the tree is like facing them and they're facing this tree, so it looks like they're looking at themselves.
Okay, so they with minor illusion, it can only be like 5 foot cubed, right? So you doing just like a portion of the tree, or like a smaller version of the tree?
I'm gonna make it be like just like where they are, like that part of the tree, so it looks like they're facing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But so just for like that 5 foot block, like right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a waste of a spell.
It's a cantrip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Yeah,
Even
so
though they
that's
think
pretty
we are.
neat trick, but not very helpful.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not very helpful either, so
Well, we're the ones who need help.
I don't think you do.
Oh yeah? Well, who are you to judge?
I'm the judge, obviously, the person you want to help you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Well-
we're like super busy. We don't have time to help people who don't really need it.
Oh well, you know,
So-
it must be nice.
Well, it doesn't seem like we're going to get very far if we don't at least speak with them.
You can. I'll
Yeah.
watch your back.
Yeah, you should speak with us. Come on over here. Help us.
I don't think you should.
I think I would like to. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic and see what happens.
Okay. What, on the tree?
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I'm,
like at centered, like at that hollow place
sure.
where they
sure.
are.
So you don't really see anything happen, but they just kind of say, "Ah, rude. How'd you like it if we just dispelled your magic stuff?"
Well, I mean, you're using
That
your
might
magic
be
stuff
interesting. Do try.
to trick people. Obviously.
Carolina, please make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Also at disadvantage, correct?
No, wisdom saving throws are not at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's a 19.
Okay.
It was actually not bad.
Yeah, so you find that a magic spell attempts to take over you, but you are able to resist it.
Well, that was quite as you were saying, that was quite rude.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
you did it first. You started it. You're the aggressor here. We're just defending ourselves.
I don't think
I'm gonna get down
so.
off the horse and I'm just gonna go over whatever. This is just how our day is gonna go.
I'm watching from over here, so if you need help, I can back you up. I'm ready.
All right, so you're going over to what, just closer to the tree?
Yep.
Okay. So from the ground, like when you were on the horse, they were at about like eye level. So from the ground, you'd probably have to like step up onto the lower roots and kind of tiptoe up to get closer.
Hmm. So
Um,
I will stand at like the base of the tree and be like, hello,
Mhm.
can I help you?
So you're I think you're just seeing over, this little area where they are, and then you see these three little sprites, and again they're like 4 inches tall, but they have fairy wings, and they're all lying around like kids play acting that they've been killed or whatever, right? They're just lying on the ground, and they say, oh my gosh, thank you for coming over. We're so weak. We need help.
With what?
Oh, you won't believe it. We're just all so weak and nauseated because these two ugly giants rode by on a horse. It was so terrible.
Oh, you're hilarious. And I'm going to shift size back into Carolina
Okay.
from the dwarf. Just guys,
Mhm. Oh
see
no!
what it does.
She got even more ugly. What are we gonna do? And they're play acting, running around in circles in their little tree hollow.
Well, you're very cute and very amusing. Is there anything we can do for you? For real?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. What do you want?
Money.
Hmm. We don't have a lot of money.
Give us some money.
Well, how about a ride? Do
What
you need
do
a
we
ride
want a
somewhere?
ride for? We want some money. Give us money.
What do
I'm
you
gonna
want
cast
money
minor
for?
illusion again, and it's just gonna be like a big giant gold coin like floating in front of the tree.
Yeah, that would be a more convincing illusion if it wasn't floating.
That's all the money we have.
I don't think so.
I do.
What do you want with money?
What do you want with money?
Well, usually I would buy food and stuff, but I don't think you need it for that.
What, you don't think we eat?
Well, no. I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. What are you do, like just go into town to the market? Like how that doesn't make any sense.
None of your business.
Well, it kind of is. See, the way money works is that you give somebody money in exchange for something else. So if I give you money, what do I get?
One of the pixies disappears. And the other two just say, well, if you give us money, we'll know that you were, such kind and lovely and generous giants, and we'll tell stories of your kind and generous actions for generations to come.
Well, I can do that. I'm a bard. That's what I do. That's my job.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't generally pay other people for that.
Sing us a song.
Okay. What would you like?
Make
Do
them
you
pay
what
you
kind
money.
what Yeah.
Zaylene, as you watch, you see Carolina's like her coin pouch on her belt just starting to lift up off of her belt.
Oh, God. I am going to. I'm gonna cast cause fear.
Okay.
I don't think I even really have any money that I would have had. I feel like I spent on something, but I don't, I don't know what it was.
Cause fear is what? Wisdom saving throw?
Um,
Is it just on one
yes,
creature?
wisdom
Or
saving throw. Yep, it's wisdom.
on just one creature, or is it like on all of them?
It's on all of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on all three of them because
All right.
it's I'm using a third level spell. It's on two of them. So I'm going to cast it on the area around Carolina's money pouch,
Okay.
and then on the one that was just talking to Carolina.
You feel it. that it goes out, and you feel that the one that is closest to you at Carolina's belt resists the effect. But all of a sudden, one of the ones that's in the tree just suddenly screams, starts running around in little circles, and then like slams into the side of the wall, and then tries to come out, but she can't because it would require getting closer to Zaleen, and so. One of the two pixies that you can still see, Carolina, is just basically having a panic attack in this little tree hollow, and the other pixie just looks back at you, Carolina, just with her hands on her hips, and is like, "Really?"
I didn't do that. Kind of look back at Saline. It's like we were having a conversation.
So, Carolina, you can.
Does
make a
she mention
perception check
anything
if you
about
want.
my pouch and about being
She didn't say
pickpocketed?
anything.
Like,
Yep. Yeah, you can make a perception check at disadvantage.
do it again. Well, they were the same. So 22 on both of what? Wait, did it go 3 times? Yeah. So it was 22 on the first
Okay.
two that I
Yeah,
rolled.
so I think you do sense then that your belt pouch feels like there's a little bit of a tug there.
Yeah. So I just kind of re-secure that, maybe hang on to it a little tighter. It's like we're having a conversation. That's very rude to try to
Make
steal
another
from
wisdom
me.
saving throw.
I have a +0, so there we go. That's more like it. A 6.
Yeah, so the pixie at your belt returns to visibility, and Carolina turns into a goat.
Well, can it actually do that because of my own abilities?
Oh yeah, can she be forcibly shapeshift?
Oh, well, hang on. Let me.
Yeah.
Um,
Because polymorph does not work on me.
hang on. Well, maybe you might be right. So let me.
It's like the only thing that can force me to change is like moonbeam or something.
You might be right. In which case, I will retcon what happens there. Let me just double check that.
So they used the spell and it's like, that's not fun. Nothing happened.
What are you?
We'll do the voices now.
We'll argue with ourselves.
It's a
That's
weird
like a
mirror
normal
universe.
session, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've now become the little pixies in there, and you're trapped.
Uh,
And the pixies walk off with your bodies.
Right.
What we need is Nedry's bag so we could just put him in there.
Yeah.
No,
hang
you do not want the
God,
pixies
could you
loose in
imagine what
there.
would happen in there? Yeah. Well, they'd go in the prison and they'd be in the anti-magic cells.
The prisons don't hold that many people. So the ones that
small.
don't go in the prison and go end up in the room.
They probably wouldn't even, it wouldn't matter. They'd probably just be able to walk right out of the cell anyway.
That's
Because
probably
they're
true.
so small.
So where does it say? Has no effect on a shape changer. Sure enough. Okay, so yeah, I think you feel this magic sort of wave over you, but then you sort of have this instinctive reaction where you feel your body about to change shape, but then you're just able to just dismiss it, and then you hear this little voice at your belt say, "Well, that's no fun."
Can I grab him?
Zaleen, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my God. Where is it? There it is. 19.
Okay. They all just kind of yeah. So you also are able to resist this effect, and they just you know they're looking around, and they say, "Would you excuse us for just a second? We have to confer."
Can I grab the one that was by my belt, or does he dodge me?
Well,
They-
make
do
an
they dodge
athletics
me?
check, and they will make a. You're making a grapple check.
Okay. Athletics. Oh shit! That would have been a natural 20,
Okay.
but I got to roll a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
No, because it's an ability. It's
No,
not
well,
an
no,
ability check.
ability-
It's a skill.
No, ability check. That is what that is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
I
it's
thought you
like
said athletics.
Well, athletics
15.
is a skill. That's an ability check. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Skills count as ability checks.
it was confusing.
Mm-hmm. Um,
That
so
natural 20 would have been nice, but
no.
15.
Okay. Well, 15 is not enough. They dart out of reach, and they just say, "Listen, we've been going easy on you two because you're dumb, slow giants. But you wouldn't want us to have to bring out the big guns now, would you?"
Look, I don't want to fight. I don't want to hurt you. We're just trying to go a place.
Well, if you don't want to hurt us, then you should give us all your money.
Mm,
It's
No.
logic.
I kind of don't mind hurting them if we have to, honestly.
but they're little.
But they're vicious.
Annoying. I don't know about vicious.
Mm,
No, we may be little, but we've got big friends. Even bigger than you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why
So
didn't
you
you
better
ask
give
them
us
for
all our
money?
money. Or all your money, I mean.
Mm,
I don't think so.
no.
Please.
No.
No.
You'll be back.
Probably. Come on, Carolina.
Okay. Back to the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. See you soon. I'm sure. Get back on the horse. See if we can
blow
leave this
tiny
time.
raspberries at you.
Turn around and head towards the mountains.
Mm-hmm. So you're riding for about 10 minutes again, and then all of a sudden you realize that you have apparently somehow turned around again.
Yep.
Because you're coming up on the tree again. Say, well, look who's come crawling back.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
What would you say?
I would say that you've trapped us in some kind of a loop.
What? Trapped? Loop? Us?
What's your name?
What's your name?
Carolina?
See? See how easy that was? We tricked you into giving us your name. And we didn't
All you
have
had
to
to
give
do
you
was
anything.
ask.
Ha ha.
All you had to do was ask.
Yeah, and we did. I mean, you've
You
just
don't have-
demonstrated that.
Well, we don't have to fight. We could be friends.
You could give us all your money.
Yeah, still no on that one. Because that's not what friends do.
Who says we're friends?
Well, you know my name.
Yeah?
Why don't you tell me yours?
You know, if your whole definition of friendship is that you know someone's name, I'm not sure you have as many friends as you think you do.
No, that's just where it starts.
Well, no, here, listen, you know, we had a conversation when you rode away the last time. And we came to the conclusion that, you know, we might be willing to be friends with all of you if you helped
We're
us
not
out
giving
with a
you all
little
our
problem.
money.
Well, okay, we were going to say something different this time. You don't know us so well. You don't know everything.
Okay, what were you going to say?
We were going to say that, that we've got an evil monster trying to kill us all the time. We're poor,
What kind of
defenseless
evil-
little pixies. We always have to hide in fear because the monster's going to get us.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And what kind of monster would this be?
That's why we wanted the money so we could hire a bodyguard.
Uh-huh. Or you know what? If you made friends, they might be willing to help you.
We have a friend. We told you he's even bigger than you.
And why isn't he be your bodyguard for free?
We can't afford
If
it.
if he's your friend, he would just want to protect you. So he must not really be your friend.
You know,
Hmm.
there's a famous character from a storybook that says if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Mm.
That person never had a friend.
Well, they had money, though.
Well, money can't buy you
Yeah.
friends.
Can't buy a bodyguard, though. Hey, or how about this? You pay us money and we'll be your bodyguards.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Are you, though?
Yeah.
Really? Because it seems like you keep coming back to us.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
we
whose
could
fault is that
kill
really?
you.
What?
I think we could just kill you. I mean, we could kill you and kill your big friend.
Nah.
Or, yeah, we probably could.
Yeah, we'll try it.
So I don't think we need to get to that point. That seems silly and a waste of everybody's time. Like this here, all of this is a waste of time.
Yeah. But, I mean,
We don't want to fight you. We just want to go on our way. We don't want to
Okay.
hurt you either.
Go ahead.
yeah,
We've
but
done
we'll be
this
back.
before.
Mm-hmm.
What is this monster that is trying to hurt you?
Well, it's big
Mm-hmm.
and hairy
Mm-hmm.
and has teeth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be more specific?
Well, it has wings like a bat.
Okay. Does it have a name?
We call it the monster.
Ooh.
Where is
Spooky.
this monster now?
Well, we drew a picture of it. Do you want to see?
Sure.
You have to lean up here because it's a small picture.
I have a magnifying glass.
Well, do you think you can see a magnifying glass from all the way over there? You have to come over.
Well,
only
I
been
mean,
over
I'm
there
just
once.
saying, like,
I'll
I'll
go over
go
again.
over. Yeah, I'll go over with my magnifying glass.
They hold up a tiny piece of broken mirror. It's hideous, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Totally frightening. Wow.
So why don't you guys just, if you're not going to give us your money, why don't you just leave us alone?
We'd
Well,
love to.
Love to, but we keep having to come back here.
Why?
Well, that's a good question. You sure this isn't something that you're doing?
What?
Because we
Hmm.
didn't have this problem until we came across you.
Well, we didn't have this problem until you came across us either.
Well, why don't you come with us and we'll see if we can't keep moving?
If you'll excuse us for a moment, I have to confer with my associates.
Certainly. We'll wait by the horse.
Right.
So what do you think? I
I would
really don't
like-
want to hurt him. There's
I'd
no
love
reason to.
though.
Annoying is not deadly. Deadly threats are something that I'm not opposed to using force, but these are not nightmares. These are just little pixies. I think they might just be kids.
I'm like really surprised that you don't want to kill them considering how grouchy you were just like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. I mean, now you seem more like yourself. Maybe we should encounter pixies more often.
I am a grown person and
I know.
nobody tells me when to go to bed. Thank you very much.
I didn't tell you to go to bed. I said don't ride the horse because you're tired.
Why
I
not?
didn't say you had to go to bed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
You glance back over at the tree and you don't see the pixies at all.
Maybe they left.
Or, I mean, they can go invisible.
True.
Well, I guess if they want to go, then we can go. And we'll get back on the horse.
Hmm?
Anybody who's coming with us, now's the time to go.
Yup. Yep.
Uh,
Mm, Head towards the mountains again.
you
See if we can.
You start to head out and you realize that your horse has fallen asleep.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Ugh,
We don't
Really?
have time for this. Murder would ensure that we would have more time.
but it's not very nice.
Neither is putting
They're not
people's
trying to
horses
kill
to
us.
sleep. Are you sure? How can
Pretty
you be
sure.
sure?
Well, I've had enough experience, I think, recently with things trying to kill me. This does not fit the pattern.
Okay, but they're stopping us from doing very important work. That could potentially kill everyone if we don't do it.
Well, then on their heads be it. Let's see. I can't. I would have to use a 4th level spell
I just
slot
love the
to dispel
implication
magic.
that, like, you just not save the world out of spite for these pixies.
Oh, you know what? I can cast see invisibility.
Okay.
That's what I traded out enlarge and reduce for.
Ah.
I may as well use it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm using it. Let's
Are-
see. For 1 hour, I see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible,
Okay.
and I can see into the ethereal plane.
Okay. Yeah. So a few feet ahead, you do see 3 pixies kind of hovering in air, and I think there's a moment where they had been kind of just laughing amongst each other, but then they kind of notice you looking in their direction, and they kind of start whispering to each other, like, I think she can see us.
Hi. Are you ready to go?
They turn back visible again. All right. That's a pretty good trick. I suppose we might be willing to teach you the secret of escaping the looping road.
Okay.
Has a material component, the spell,
What is it?
money.
Mm-hmm. Look,
Well,
if you need
what do you want from
bodyguards,
us?
we're
It's
happy to
a
help
spell.
you.
It's a spell.
It's a spell.
Yeah. You have to do a special spell. And
Uh-huh.
it costs money.
How much money?
How much you got?
No, that's
Or-
not how bargaining starts.
Yeah, well, you could just be on your way then, I guess.
Can we?
I don't know. Can you?
Will you let us be on our way?
They sort of shrug and gesture down the road.
I'm going to hold up my hand and I'm just going to like put a little Eldritch Blast in my hand and just sort of hold it there
Okay.
because I'm getting really annoyed.
All right. Make an intimidation check.
Seven.
All right.
I rolled a 4.
I think that one of the all of a sudden grasping weeds and vines sprout up from the ground around the horse and start tangling around the horse's legs.
All
Great.
right. I'm going to unleash it.
Okay. Well, are you attacking you're attacking one of the pixies?
2 of them.
Okay.
Where's the thing? Come on. It's not letting me click it.
Hmm?
There it goes. 12.
Okay. A 12 is not enough, or at least for that first attack.
Yeah. And the other one's a 14.
Okay. Neither of those hit, but they do seem more startled when you actually fire at them, and they all three of them race for the little crook of the tree that they had been hiding in before.
I would like to cast. Oh, I clicked off my spells. Oh no, I don't have that one. I don't.
Hang on, I'm checking to
I'm
see if
so
your
used to
riding
having
horse is-
shatter. I don't have it anymore. Okay.
If your horse
Um,
is restrained, I have to check against the spell. Strength saving throw. That might be, yeah. So I think the horse is able to avoid getting restrained by the vines, but it's still like the ground is all disrupted now.
all right. I'm gonna go back over to the tree
Okay.
to like where the little hollow is.
Mm-hmm.
And are they in there? Did they
Yeah.
get there?
They
Yep.
are all kind of huddled in there, looking up at you a little more, perhaps respectful, fearful, a little more
Look.
nervous.
Look, we really don't want to hurt you, but we want to be on our way. Now, my friend is getting really irritated, and when she's got a mind to do something, I can't really stop her. So, why don't you just let us go?
Well, there's just a trick to it. I mean, it's not
What's
even
the
really
trick?
something we're doing. Like, it's not our thing.
Whose thing is it?
I mean, I don't know. It's the Loping Road.
Okay, so what's the trick?
Well, first step is you pay us for that knowledge, and then we tell you the trick.
Okay, I will pull one coin out of my pouch.
What type
Looks
of
like I have 100 gold, so I would give them 1 gold.
Make a persuasion check.
Let's see. How does that apply? Like, if I have disadvantage, but I still cannot, like, one of my, yeah, when I make a persuasion or charisma, persuasion or deception check, I can treat a d20 as a roll of 9 or lower as a 10, and
Mhm.
I have a plus 10 to persuasion, so
Okay. Well, you still can.
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
I'll roll another one just because.
All right.
Yeah, so 20 is the low one.
Okay, so yeah, their eyes all kind of get wide looking at this gold coin, but there you can see, you can watch this whole transition of emotions of like, wow, no wait, play it cool, guys, come on. Well, I guess that's fair. So, what you have to do is you just have to go. You have to walk backwards down the road until you pass the fairy circle, and then you have to turn counterclockwise 3 times.
Around the fairy circle or just in place?
Just in place when you can see the fairy circle.
Okay, I will hand over the coin.
There's basically, once again, big smiles followed by play cool. And then you see them start trying to wedge the coin into this little crack in the tree.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, well, could have been a lot easier if you'd just been willing to, cough up the money in the first place.
Well, maybe next time don't ask for all of somebody's money. You're more likely to get somewhere then.
Haven't you ever heard of haggling? You start from the high position.
Yes, but that's usually a fixed number.
No,
Yeah, pretty sure that's
No.
how it works.
you never made us a counteroffer. You just went to violence.
I said 4 copper.
When? I didn't even hear that.
I
Anyway.
did.
I didn't hear it either.
Yeah. They didn't hear
The
it.
smallest thing I had was gold. I didn't have any copper or silver
Mhm.
pieces, so that's whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, thank you very much for your help, and consider that payment rendered.
Okay.
And
all
we're
right.
going to do what they said to do.
So the horse is not willing to walk backwards.
Okay. Well, maybe lead it by the reins while we're walking backwards might
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah. So you're walking backwards. The horse is walking along with you. It's not going backwards, but yeah. As you are receding away from this big tree, um, you see after a little bit that one of the branches of the tree kind of comes down out of the leaves, and the whole tree kind of turns, and you can see like a big face on it now, and the tree branch goes waves. And it kind of resets. And so eventually, after you're walking backwards for a few minutes, you do see hidden behind one of the bushes that you can only see when you're facing this direction is a little circle of toadstools.
Well, I think that's it. So 3 times counterclockwise, I believe is what they said.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. All right, and I will turn.
Okay.
Kind of.
Me too.
So as you each find yourself, you turn in circles 3 times. As you come around the third time, there's a moment of dizziness because all of a sudden the landscape in that direction is just completely different. Like it's still grassland, but now there's like the mountains ahead, and it's just like, oh, you were clearly seeing illusory landscape before, and now you're not. But also, when you come back around for that to complete that third circle, your horse is still with you now, but he's bright green. His fur is all now just bright emerald green.
Well, that's subtle.
Maybe he'll be worth more now.
Wonder if I can prestidigitate that away.
Maybe.
Do try.
Yeah, I'll try prestidigitation. It's a throwaway.
Okay. So where you cast it, the bright green changes to bright red, but now it's just a big bright red spot on the bright green horse.
Oh, that's fun. And then I'm going to start painting a picture on the horse. See if I get any other colors. I'm
Yeah,
getting a little
every
distracted.
time you cast it, it's a different color. So you pretty soon have got just like a mess.
Polka dot horse.
Well, that'll keep me busy as we ride.
So you are now able to continue on down the road, and I think perhaps that is a good place for us to draw the session to a close, unless we have anything from Sequential or Nedry that you would like to have accomplished during that time.
I think their drug dreams are far more interesting than his have been. So sure, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so with that, so I guess here's a question too, though. Like we didn't really establish this because you seem to be wanting to stay up, but like I don't know. I mean, never mind. It's fine. You guys do what you want, and we will find out what happens next time when we return for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So many
levels.
levels.
Levels.